Ghanatube so and now we are not him for Parliament House for position. Speaker of Parliament, I'm about to say, we perform our a year, daughter of murderer, a brother, a year, when Rawlings and Zanetor Rawlings a casa of Parliament, to just say, has some NGN to move until some independent APA, but Black Rasta, I can see be after the much I treat you a year per a year, my mistress say, because with this I say, a year.
A lot is happening in Ghana, isn't there? So much happening. We've all heard about what happened in Parliament. Zanetor Rawlings, somebody called her, made a cut call of something very ugly. Parliament is looking for it, and the Anglo chiefs have given the speaker a deadline to be able to say who did it so that the person is punished. Majority members have expressed concern that what was said was wrong. Minority has expressed similar concern. Now, here is our Good Evening Ghana opinion on the matter. Let's begin this conversation with a very poignant video that I saw Black Rasta do. Let me just tell you who are these. Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, Lieutenant Ado. Later he became, I think, a brigadier general, somebody I know well. Used to come to my house. And when I was small, not my house, but where I lived when I was small. Not my house, but where I lived when I was small. Okay, so I've seen a very poignant video from Black Rasta, my friend at TV3, Black Rasta, the one who was famous for the song that he did on Barack Obama. Barack. He's introduced a new album that we are all enjoying. Listen to Black Rasta.
Was he a saint? Was Rawlings a prophet? Have we so soon forgotten our history? The bloodiest coup d'etat that ever happened in this nation was instituted by Rawlings. He killed many in order to become leader of this nation. Is that not a murderer? So I am wondering why there's so much noise.
Yes, that was Black Rasta. Quite poignant, but this is a very sensitive conversation we're going to have. This is our Good Evening Ghana opinion on what happened in Parliament. Let's go back to Black Rasta. It's slightly longer than what you've seen. He delved into it in some detail, and we'll come back on the touch screen and then present all of our analysis on this matter about what happened in Parliament. It was quite unfortunate, and we do condemn it. Here's Black Rasta again.
Why can't we speak the truth anymore? What is wrong with us? Zanetor is the daughter of a murderer. That is correct. But does that make her a murderess? No. She cannot inherit the crimes of her father. Do we understand that? But that does not mean she is not a daughter of a murderer. She is. Let us call a spade a spade. Should we call Zanetor the daughter of a pastor, or the daughter of a reverend, or the daughter of a saint? No, we saw the bloodiest violence in this country in the reign of Rawlings. The person who called Zanetor the daughter of a murderer, was he right or wrong? My brother, my sister, in the days of Rawlings, we suffered terror. Those of you who were not yet born in 1979, we saw horror in this country. People were abducted and killed summarily. We saw judges abducted and set ablaze. My brother, my sister, the mystery of which, my brother, my sister, is still pending in the clouds. Rawlings denied involvement, yet it happened in his regime. In the regime of Rawlings, we saw women in Kejetia market stripped naked and whipped in their vaginas. We saw people abducted and taken to the Gonda barracks and some other such barracks and shaved with blunt instruments and blades. We saw, my brother, my sister, people who were carried away and beaten, most of whom we were told were dead, and carried all the way to the morgue at 37. One of them finally survived. He went on to move into exile and later came back into this country to become a minister.
In terms of Zanetor Rawlings and pastor a of media company, upon we wave him, what is wrong? And in the moment for the moment for Mbagana for say, some credit her own for fans and change, and then himself pastor say, AJ, why they will come from both the Zanko for Kumaka, the place enjoying them. And can say, young Puna enjoy a couple debate, but the names are some upon a kind day, and now some but Sassam. Up to the young who before kind, who said she had any young something young but Sansom, a video cheaper, and the from a bed, almost moving the earth was so. But as some of Black Rasta air can, it was so, I say.
To this country to become a minister of energy. Do we all remember this person? It was all in the days of Rawlings. Can we run away from the heinous crimes of Rawlings in his regime from 1979? The several murders and bloodshed. And even at the time, Ghanaians were asking Rawlings to let more blood flow. How do you let blood flow when you don't murder people? Rawlings was a murderer. It's the truth. What are you running away from? So when people die, when murderers die, they all of a sudden become saints? Is that what you are saying? Because we live in a country where Atayi all of a sudden will become Saint Atayi because he's dead. Say no bad thing about the dead. That is your motto. Until we start to shame the dead, like they did in Belgium when Leopold II died and they threw his dead body right in the middle of the street for people to hoot at and spit at. My brother, my sister, crime and foolishness will never ever stop in this country. Was he a saint? Was Rawlings a prophet? Have we so soon forgotten our history? The bloodiest coup d'etat that ever happened in this nation was instituted by Rawlings. He killed many in order to become leader of this nation. Is that not a murderer? So I am wondering why there's so much noise.
That was very harsh. Black Rasta was very, very harsh, wasn't he? Anyway, now, since the issue broke, people have been talking. So this is Matthew Adabuga. Have a look.
So the point is, I feel guilty that innocent people, not only soldiers, the 260 people who got missing, most of them are there and other places which they know. You see, that doesn't mean.
Can you tell me some of the other places?
If you are going to the range, you understand, some of them are there, that Teshi range area. And if you are going to the airport, especially the Air Force boys, they call that place Agege. They were buried there discriminately there. You see, those Air Force boys were reckless. There was even one of them who he took into his own accord and he was shooting. So Rawlings made a mistake and went and shot somebody who was related to Rawlings. And then Rawlings told me to go and shoot him. And I said, why? What has he done? It's called W2 Kingston or Kingsley. Kingston. Okay. So it was one Boachi who went and shot him, called Boachi of Air Force. They went to a funeral.
The killing was just too much.
It was what they call collateral. They call it collateral damage.
The holy war?
Well, there's nothing called holy, but you can give it any name, unless otherwise you can just brainwash the people like they did to us. So they say it was holy, which it wasn't holy. It wasn't only Ashantis who die or Northerners, it was to die. So it was across board.
That was one of the makers of the coup. So this brings me to the conversation, viewers. This is our opinion. Presidents come and presidents go. We want to build a future for our country.
In terms of Zanetor Rawlings and pastor a lot of media company, we wave him. What is wrong? And in the moment for the moment for but can I say, yes, some credit I want for fans and change. And then say I'm pastor say, AJ, why they will come from Bones and Conference and come can independence enjoying them. And can say, young Puna enjoy a happy debate, but the name is some upon a kind day. And now some but Saturn up to the young who before kind, who said she had any young something young but Sansom, a video cheaper, and the from a but as a black rasta air can it also
Shouldn't we make a decision that when we are evaluating President Nkrumah, Prime Minister Buzia, Champon, all of them, let's start here. This is Dr. Nkrumah. Dr. Nkrumah did many good things, winning independence for Ghana, but Dr. Nkrumah also ended up with some things that were not good at all. Should we say that because he did good things and some things we didn't like, or posterity has demonstrated that he shouldn't have done them, should we say we won't talk about it? I think it's wrong. Going forward, we are gaining new leaders, and we're going to be having leaders for the future. Let's ensure that whatever good thing Nkrumah did, we keep. Whatever bad thing Nkrumah did, we say never again. And before we can say never again, we have to state it. The Preventive Detention Act was a human rights abuse. The dictatorial tendencies of Osajef was clear. So we can talk about that, but also remember that he did some very good things and say them as well. So if you take Nkrumah off there, you have a General Ankara, they're cool people, very little to say about them. So let's move on to Afrifa was one of them as well. They did some good things. Now here's Prime Minister Buzia, elected by the people of Ghana. Buzia did many, many good things. But there were some things that Buzia did that he shouldn't have done. For instance, his statement about no court was undermining a nascent democracy. When he lost the case in court, he came to explain. He had a great explanation, but the term no court can do this to me shouldn't have come. It affected our democracy and eventually he got overthrown. The other thing he did that was bad, maybe not just him, with his group of people, preventing Kwame Nkrumah from running in 1969 elections as a member of parliament was not good. It divided the nation. It didn't give the nation national unity. It obscured unity. It obscured democracy. And Nkrumah was happy to come and contest election as an ordinary Ghanaian. His government has been overthrown. He wants to run the election as a member of parliament, which he had been before. Buzia said no. That was wrong. So we say the things that Buzia did that were good, the things that he did that was wrong, it is wrong. Never again. We don't want to do it again. Let's roll on and see. Edward Akufo-Addo was with Buzia. So Buzia's correctness is with him. His sins are with him. Kutu Achampon Ignatius, our man, Lieutenant General Akufo. This is Hilary Liman, elected president of Ghana. Hilary Liman was there for just 2 years. The major sin against Liman was that his government was overthrown. During the period of Liman did some good things. He did some bad things. So whatever bad things, we don't cover it up. We talk about it so that for the future, it's a never again. That's the whole conversation. Now here's Fly Lieutenant Rawlings. Rawlings did some good things. Rawlings did some good things. Rawlings gave us the 1992 constitution. Rawlings gave us the democratic stability. If Rawlings didn't win the election of 92 or didn't present himself for it and somebody else had won and Rawlings was lurking in the back, he was a very popular politician in those days. He could have easily overthrown the constitution. But he didn't do that. He offered himself to run, gave the constitution stability. Kufuor came in. There were some difficulties with him, but it was okay. Today we have a stable constitutional arrangement that we are thinking of amending. It doesn't mean that Rawlings didn't execute or didn't participate in certain bad things. There were some very, very bad things that happened in Rawlings' time. 3 judges were abducted and murdered. Ța, my relative, the Air Force commander, he was murdered. He was killed at the range. Ța had saved Rawlings' career. Air Vice Marshal Ța, there he is. He saved Rawlings' career. J.J. Rawlings' career as a military officer was going down the drain. Ța was the base commander in Accra in those days, so he knew Rawlings well. Later on, he became the Air Force commander appointed by Achampong. He saved J.J. Rawlings' career. J.J. Rawlings became president and he killed him. That's we don't want to say again. So to all of these things, we say never again. And we also have to learn to communicate it. We don't communicate it by shouting at somebody that you're a daughter of a murderer. We communicate it by properly documenting it and talking about it, whether it's Dankwa. Where is Akufo-Addo in the picture? This is J.A. Kufuor. J.A. Kufuor did many good things. But there were some things that he did that would not be good. I don't have time to talk about all of them, but certainly he's not a saint. So we pick up the great things that Kufuor did and we pick them up and say that this one was wrong. Here's Professor Mills. He did some good things. Unfortunately, he passed. But if there were some things he did that was bad, the fact that Mills has passed doesn't mean we should cover up. We should raise it, say that this what Professor Mills did that was bad. Never again should any leader do that. If we build up the never agains and we're able to obey the never agains, 50 years from now, we'll have a more solid democracy and a more solid country. Yes, President Mahama, the first time he came, did good things. There were some things that were bad. He himself acknowledged them. He's president again today. He says that the things I did that were bad, I don't do them again. He came in, he had 90 or so ministers. Now he says, I want to have 60 ministers. It means he himself has recognized that in his first coming, there were some things he did that were bad. So we don't cover those things up. Whether he's dead or he's alive, we can't cover them up. Here is my favorite, Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Many good things. But there are some things that we are still talking about. The state was asking chiefs to stand up and it was not good. There are some things that happened that were not good. Not everybody will have everything that is good. But Adodankwa Akufo-Addo gave a sterling show that people did not agree with, but we can find out later. So there are some great things he did that was good. There are some things that he did that wasn't good. Should we say that we will not talk about, even those of us who are apologists of Akufo-Addo, should we say we cannot talk about those things that are bad? Yes, we can talk about them. How do we communicate it? We don't go to parliament and shout, daughter of a murderer. That's not the way to do it. But we also don't have to recognize that the history of our country should be obscured. No one should try to obliterate the ugly history of this country, the ugly past of this country. If we do that, we obliterate it, we will go back to it again. We have to expose it, ventilate it, and tell ourselves never again. That's the end of our story. Rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace.
You are for anything for her and not do it. Or was in Michelle and not your friend. Have a Ghana tips to work on.